to my channel. Of course, it's Real Life Wednesday, and today I'm going to share with you, of course, something I love to do, which is cook. I'm not a great cook, but I enjoy doing it. I'm going to be making some spaghetti and meatballs today, and I'm going to take you guys through my recipe. People really like it, so I thought I'd share it with you guys, and it's kind of it's a mix between a lot of different recipes that I've seen. I like Food Network stars like Tyler Florence and Ina Gardner. So let's get going. All right, you guys know I'm on my bagel cake, but we don't need these right now, so let me put those over there. All right, I have my ground beef. You can use ground turkey if you like, but I have some organic grass-fed lean 85% and 15% fat ground beef. I'm just making all type of noise, I'm sorry. First, I'm gonna start off with, well, this is the bread that we're eating later tonight. I'll put that over there. Start off by cutting up some onions. You know, I should have had the garlic out already, because I know I love garlic. And I probably should have had my cutting board out as well. Well, you guys get to see me do all this up front. I'm going to take this knife, which is quite sharp. And the reason why I know that is because, well, I have cut myself on it quite a few times. So let's do some onions. I'll speed ahead for you guys on this part so you're not watching me cut onions. What I do with my onions so that I don't cry and do the whole waterworks is I go ahead and rinse both sides off with like cold water, warm water, whatever. I'm going to take out my Dutch oven. It's my tried and true thing. I love this Dutch oven. It has paid for itself. It's the best thing in the world. Okay, take out my Dutch oven. I'm going to pour some olive oil in here. Maybe a couple tablespoons. I really don't measure. I'm going to turn my oven on here to medium heat. So I'm going to put 2 or 3 cloves in there. And I normally put more, but I don't feel like cutting up more. So it's just sheer laziness that's stopping me. And I just hit it like so. And it gets the whole, look at that, just peel it right off. Kind of like shrimp. That works out nicely, doesn't it? I'll cut the ends off. Then it's the fun part. Slam it again. Did you guys see that fly? It sure did fly. All right. And I'm not mincing these or nothing like that. I'm chopping them, but just enough where we're not biting down on garlic. I think the oil is heated up a bit. I'm going to put the onions in there, but I'm going to wait a little bit to put the garlic. Well, first of all, I'm not done cutting the garlic, and secondly, you don't want the garlic to burn. Let me go ahead and stir this. Just using a silicone spatula. What I like to do is turn the top around and put my spatula there. That always works for me. I'm gonna let that sweat down which basically means until it gets really soft and it smells yummy and all that good stuff. And if you've been watching me for a little bit, I like to snack. So I'm gonna eat some dinner, but I like to snack too. I'll eat something to drink. These are some of the best I'm going to add the garlic now. These are some of the best, I don't want to call them Twizzlers, but they're like Twizzlers, but they're called Australia's something Leah. I'll put it in the comments below. These are so good. Oh my God. I don't know how you can have Twizzlers after those. Put in my garlic. Now, I personally would put, you can put green peppers, red peppers, yellow peppers. Oh, I've done it all. And it tastes so good. However, my husband doesn't like all those extra vegetables in there. So today, we're just gonna do the onions and garlic. And you cook that until the aroma just is so good. My gosh. Now, as that's cooking, yes, what I buy are San Marzano tomatoes. Once you have San Marzano tomatoes in your tomato sauce, there's just no way to go back to other canned tomatoes or any of that nature. So this isn't tomato sauce. I still have to season it and all that stuff. These are just crushed San Marzano tomatoes, which I feel all like a chef when I use San Marzano, the name, because that's what the chefs on the Food Network are like, oh, you have to have San Marzano tomatoes. Yes. We're gonna let that cook down some. But I'm going to also season it. I'm gonna bring this down to a medium low. This is a gas stove, so it would be different on an electric stove. So on an electric stove, I would normally cook this on medium, close to medium high. The temperature is very different. So I have my salt. So bear with me. I need to rewash my hands. All right, I have my salt. I'm gonna start seasoning this a bit. And I just kind of do it to the look. We don't eat a lot of salt around here because, well, first of all, it's not good for you. And secondly, once you start using other herbs and spices, you know, you really don't need as much salt. I'm going to use some ground pepper. I am going to also use some basil, and I'm having fresh basil, so I'm going to use this. A little extra, all right. And I'm going to use some oregano. Oregano is strong, so Watch out. Don't put too much of that in there. And I normally add a little sugar. I mix it in, and because I've done this so many times, I kind of know how much to put in, and it won't be over seasoned or anything of that nature. So next, let's get to these are so good too. They're called Izze. So good. Blackberry, pomegranate, apple, and clementine is really good. I'm going to get a bowl out so I can do the meat in a second. But you always want to keep raw meat separate from everything else. I have fresh. How about I finish eating the candy? I have fresh mozzarella. Mozzarella. So I'm going to grate the mozzarella. After I'm done with it, I'm going to put it in a little baggie. A little Ziploc. I don't keep cheese that's open for longer than a week max. Normally I do like 3 days. So I'm going to grate this. And no, it doesn't, fresh mozzarella doesn't grate that well. But I like to put fresh mozzarella in my meatballs. Okay. There we go. Put this in a baggie. I like to clean as I go as well. I think you guys saw that last time with the bread. Ooh. Okay, my mozzarella. I have the raw meat right here. But first, I want to take an egg. This is so that it meshes with everything well. What I do is I add a little lukewarm water to the egg. I add some salt. Let's keep stirring this to make sure. Let's put this down on low. It's going a little bit too high. I add a little salt. I'm going to need some pepper. And I'm also going to need some thyme. Here we go. Like, do I not have any thyme? We didn't have any thyme? Well, we would just use what we have. So, the meat. Let me move my knives. I normally don't do the meat over here, but because I'm doing it for you guys today, I'm doing it over here. So let me move some of the stuff so that there is, so that if meat goes anywhere, it's not on, it's on stuff that I'm going to clean up. Go ahead and add a generous amount of salt. Add a generous amount of salt on one side. Add some pepper. Add some thyme. And you can turn it around. If you can turn it around without touching it, that's fantastic. Sometimes I can't, so I have to rewash my hands and do all that stuff. Okay, salt, peppers, and thyme. Thyme is going to add a really good taste to it. Stir this, make sure everything is still good. Okay, I'm now going to put this in the bowl but I'm also going to put the mozzarella. So, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the pan. This is called a Woll pan, W-O-L-L. Best skillet I've ever had. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Yeah, you can use nonstick and stainless steel on this and it'll still be okay. You can cook an omelet and if you burn it, it's still moving around. It has a lot of weight, it is heavy. So just let you know that that's an amazing pan. I'm going to put this in the bowl and we're gonna make some meatballs. Put this in the bowl. And just get in there. Oh, what did I forget to do? I bet someone has said it on there already. I have to wash my hands because what I forgot to do, I'm always forgetting to do something when I'm filming because I'm yapping up at the mouth. What I forgot to do was soak my bread. So you can use breadcrumbs, you can use Italian breadcrumbs as your agent to make it come together. What I do is I use white bread and milk. So I get 2 slices of white bread, doesn't matter what type of white bread, and where can I find, okay, I'm having difficulty finding a small little pan for me. I normally cut this off, but I can just peel it off. It's not a big deal. And what I'm going to do is just tear it up. And since I can't find my little bowl, I'll use my little Iicorice bowl. I use this to make individual macaroni and cheeses during the holiday or even just while we're at home, or you know, you can use it for anything. Oh, I used it for pot pie. Ina Gardner has this fabulous pot pie recipe that I tried, and it was amazing. So you have to let that bread soak. Because this is a smaller little thing, you want to use something a little bigger. You kind of get the excess out and put it in there. I use 2 slices per pound. You can use how many ever you want, or you can use Italian breadcrumbs, which works as well. So the reason why I was seasoning the meat so heavily is because I'm putting in white bread, you know, that is unseasoned. So let's go ahead and mix that just with your hands. And don't over mix it because it'll become like tough and you don't want that. Some people add pork and veal to their meatballs, which is good. I don't. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these, do a little some with that. And what I do is I fry them. No oil in a non-stick pan. Some people put them in the oven. You can do that as well. Whichever way you prefer. And I just swish them around to make sure that they don't stick. And what I'll do is I'll let these cook on each side until they're brown. Alright guys, I had to go and switch cameras because I happened to check and mine stopped recording. So I went ahead and flipped the meatballs over and I'm waiting for about 5 more minutes, and then we are going to put them in the sauce and let them finish cooking and marinate in there for about 30 minutes. I'm now going to go ahead, this is the coolest thing to me. Do that. So cool to me. I don't know. I'm now going to put these in the sauce. They're not done fully, but that's the point. I don't want them to be dried out. Turned up. And they don't have to be perfect meatball shape, but they do have to taste good. Goes in there. And then what I do is I go ahead and put the sauce over them so that they're engulfed in the sauce. We will turn this up a little bit and we will cook this for about 20 to 25 minutes. I'm gonna snack on some Doritos and some candy. Please don't judge me. You know what? I think I started using mozzarella in my meatballs because I couldn't find good Parmesan Reggiano. I like saying it like that. Makes you feel all Italian and whatnot, but couldn't find any good Parmesan Reggiano, so I had to compensate. And I started using fresh mozzarella. For the pasta, I have some fresh pasta, and I season the water with salt so that the spaghetti isn't bland. Yes, bland spaghetti, you can definitely taste it. When I forget to season the water, I definitely taste it. I got this fresh from Whole Foods. And once you have fresh spaghetti, oh my God, so good, so good. We don't want to forget about bread with pasta. I'm going to go ahead and turn this on because it takes about 10 minutes for the pasta to boil. And I got this nifty, it's a colander, but look. Oh. That's pretty neat, isn't it? I like it. Okay, so I got some French bread. Let's get our bread knife out. And I'm just gonna cut it in half. Put it on the cookie sheet. Let's put this, let's bring this down some, in a Ziploc. I put everything in Ziplocs. Like, I love Ziplocs. They keep stuff fresh for a couple of days. Not for 2 weeks and stuff like that, but for at least for a week, my bagels stay fresh. But I really don't need them to stay fresh for a week because I eat them. What I do with the bread is I just put a little butter on it. We're not big butter eaters, but for bread, you need a little butter. And this goes in the oven for like 3 minutes. So we'll set that aside. Waiting for this to still boil, or to come to a boil. Okay guys, so you saw the extra sharp cheese out. I use extra sharp cheese, get some good extra sharp cheese. And this is kind of what distinguishes my spaghetti from maybe a lot of people's, they necessarily may not do this, is I put this on the spaghetti underneath the meatballs. And it just adds a little kick. Nice little kick. But you can use whatever cheese you like. You guys saw me just add a little water. Oh, because my sauce got a little bit too pasty because it was cooking too fast while I was making the meatballs. Normally I put the meatballs in immediately once I put the sauce in because you want the flavors to come together. But it was cooking longer beforehand. So, time to put the spaghetti in. I like to tear my spaghetti up. And there we go. I'm gonna leave this for leftovers tomorrow. Spaghetti is so good the next day. So with lasagna, to me, pasta is just good the second day, all the way around. But that's what you want to do for the leftover too, is it took me so long to figure this out. For leftovers for spaghetti and meatballs, I'm like, my sauce is so, and that's me, it's pasty and it's like not that great. And it's supposed to be great the second day. You have to add a little water to loosen up the sauce. We're gonna wait about 10 minutes for this to get done. Some people like theirs al dente. We don't like ours al dente. We like ours cooked a little bit more through. If you like yours al dente, then probably 3 to 5 minutes. Oh, let me get the plates. I didn't get a plate. I got more candy. Yeah, I'm not done yet. The sun is going down and it's drizzling outside. How pretty. It's nice to be indoors though. Now I'm going to turn the oven on. And I'm going to turn it on 450 to put the bread in for about 5 minutes for it to get crispy and melt the butter. If you have garlic butter, which Whole Foods sells garlic butter, which is so good, which if you cook steak with the garlic butter and a little olive oil, sorry, side note. But do put that in there for about 5 minutes and we will wait. One thing I will say is do not take this out and immediately plate it. You want to make sure you let it drain a little bit because then you end up having water kind of on the plate. Yeah, I know that from experience. And through the magic of the camera, there we go. And this is my little secret ingredient. I put some cheese, extra sharp cheese. Sharp cheese just doesn't do it. Put some extra sharp cheese around here. Let me not forget about the bread. Okay? And then you have spaghetti and meatballs. So that's how I make spaghetti and meatballs my way, my extra different way. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment below if you have any questions, or if you want to see more of these videos. And until our next conversation.